So St. John Ambulance is one of the world's oldest organizations with roots dating back to the Crusades. And we've been in Canada since 1883, doing first aid training to the public to help people be safe when they're at home, work, and play. And we also have community service programs serving everybody from pretty much birth to the grave. So our community service programs, we really have 4 key programs. We have our youth services working on developing leadership skills, learning first aid skills, and getting youth involved with the community. Our car seat education program, keeping families safe on the road, making sure parents know how to install a car seat and make sure everyone's safe. Our medical first responders are volunteers that go out to community events and provide first aid if someone is to get injured. They're there to help. And then our therapy dogs, which most people love the most, is people that have pets at home that they want to share with people who are in hospitals, nursing homes, retirement centers, and they'll do regular visits to those facilities with their dogs. So first aid's a skill you never want to use, but you want to make sure you know it so that if you do have to use it, you're there, you're able to help, and it can really make a difference where it can save someone's life. It definitely means the difference between somebody just dealing with a medical injury or losing that person you love. So you can contact your local branch. In York, Simcoe, Muskoka, we have 2 locations, one in Barrie and one in Richmond Hill. And you can also visit our website, sja.ca. Lots of information there, and it will connect you to other branches if you're not close to Barrie or Richmond Hill, right across the country.
This is going to impact every business in some way, shape, or form. You know, whether you're in agriculture, manufacturing, retail, you know, if you sell products, if you sell services, you're going to see this sort of impacting a broad range of sectors. So there are things that we can do to mitigate that, and I think a lot of companies in Barrie have already started to do some of those types of things in the way that they look at their supply chain and where they're exporting to, or where they're doing business with, to be honest with you. What has been found really is that at 25% tariffs, a lot of companies that had been using USMCA or have products that are covered under USMCA were not bothering to go through the process of actually using the exemptions that are out there from the Canadian government. The 25%, whether the exporter was dropping their prices and then the importing company were choosing to not pass those costs on to their customers, at 25%, they felt that maybe this is going to go away, and going through the process is complicated and a bit time consuming. So when you start to get to 35% or higher with certain goods, now it becomes a bit more of an advantage for them to actually apply for that exemption. So what we're recommending is, if you hadn't looked into it, perhaps one of the products that you're selling is covered under the USMCA, and if you can't find an alternate source to bring that product in, then going through that process might be advantageous to businesses that are in our community. So, and we've seen that with some of our local manufacturers who have tallied up fairly significant tariff charges in bringing stuff over, or there are products that, at 25%, the terms of that changed at the border and the way that they're being handled, whether that product had a component of it that actually didn't fall under USMCA, and at the border they decided to handle it a different way. So now they're looking for some mitigation opportunities. So, we're advising that they contact companies like Near North or custom brokers to help them sort of navigate that, but also to look at the remission process, and we've got that on our website. So if they're looking to figure out how to do that, there's a tariff resource page that'll actually walk you through it.
So you're probably wondering why I'm sitting in this big red chair. I am here to promote our Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event. So this event is so important so that men can put themselves, and other people can put themselves in the shoes of women who are fleeing domestic violence. We see women come in through our doors every single day, and so we just want the community to be aware of these women, know their stories, know their struggles, and make an impact and show to our community that we stand with these women, we believe these women, and we want to be a part of their journey. So it was started back by a group of men and they decided that they wanted to make a visual impact. So they wanted to physically put on the red high heel shoes because they're bright and vibrant, and taking a stand against domestic violence. Domestic violence and human trafficking is very prevalent still in our community. I think that we need to keep sticking up for women. I think we need to keep shutting the stereotypes down or the locker room talk, and I think we really just kind of need to stand up for women and believe them and support them, because it is happening every single day to your neighbors, your friends, your family. Pretty much everywhere we go, we speak with someone who has been affected by domestic violence. We see it every single day that women won't speak up because they're afraid of just this, having to relive their trauma and then not be believed. So I think we just need to start believing survivors. We need to start believing women and what they're saying. I think if you get a group of women together talking, it's the same conversations over and over again. So I think everyone's experiencing it. And I think it's just so important to believe them and just stand with them and support them. I would love a future free of gender-based violence. I think just being kinder to each other. I think just getting out of our own heads and our own egos and just really listening to each other and being kind, I think would make all the difference. You can visit our website, barrieshelter.com, and we have a dedicated Walk a Mile page, or you can visit any of our socials. We're on Instagram and Facebook for links to register. You can set up a team, you can sponsor, you can come out and walk as an individual. We would love to have you.
You know, one of the things we recognized many, many years ago was that growth was coming to our community. We had obviously had a lot of the developers approaching us about lands that are sort of in and around Stayner, and plus the obvious, you know, attraction to the whole area of South Georgian Bay that people are wanting to move here. Currently, the town of Stayner is served by 3 wellheads that we have that are, you know, deep water wells. That well water is critical, obviously, for businesses in our community. Reinhardt Foods is one of the major employers in our community. They use a lot of water in their production of vinegar products as well as all the food products. So that's a major employer, as well as all the homes that are here. And you know, for the enjoyment of people, you need water. And we dug around with some data sets and found some information that the County of Simcoe had produced in regards to a great aquifer in Simcoe County called the Alliston Aquifer. The Canadian Geological Survey had done some work in the region, had determined that there's this massive water reservoir that sort of stretches from basically from Essa, tiny township, right through Springwater Township down to Essa and into the edge of Alliston. And our engineering staff and our staff reviewed it and found that we have a well source right here in Clearview Township. So we set the drillers out, and they discovered that we had a tremendous water source, and we were able to secure the property at a fantastic price. We've drilled wellheads out there. We actually have 4 wellheads that are they're quite large like this, and those wellheads are going to produce all the water that we're going to need for a long time in this area. And we secured a tremendous grant of $35 million that will help us pay for this water service. Where we're standing here today, there's a construction site here. This is on the edge of a residential development. There's some commercial work that's going on just a little over here to our right. So this property right here is slated to have more growth with homes as well as some commercial space. There's also schools that are scheduled to be in these properties as well. So we're going to have controlled growth where we have a mix of you know, business opportunities and employment opportunities as well as residential opportunities. Bringing the water service levels higher into our community by adding this wellhead at Klondike Park Road. So there is a tremendous opportunity here for commercial growth and residential growth here in our community.
Want to share news from your area? We'd love to hear from you. Email us with your community updates and be part of the conversation.